I just did a social media post on this, and it actually says in the tax code that ignorance is not a defense against a tax violation. And so when I have a client that comes to me and they say, well, I just didn't know, I tell them, okay, well, we're going to have to work beyond that defense because the IRS doesn't care that you didn't know. So it's my job to look at the situation and say, okay, this is the financial situation that they're in. If you have, for example, an S corporation that didn't pay an officer salary that nets net income, income after expenses is $5,000, would I recommend an officer salary? No, I wouldn't recommend an officer salary. They need to keep that cash in their business. Now if they are an existing business for 3 to 5 years and their net income after expenses is, $50,000 plus, then the IRS is going to say, eventually you need to pay yourself some type of officer's compensation. Otherwise, you're pretty much deemed to be avoiding Social Security and Medicare tax. And that could be an issue. And I have handled, knock on wood, luckily, none of our clients have been audited for that, but we have handled audits from other firms where an officer was audited because they didn't file payroll tax, they didn't pay themselves, and the IRS slapped on what they believed was a reasonable salary. And then there's penalties and interest and a lot of liability and a lot of fighting that goes along with that. So what I like to do is recommend to my clients to pay yourself an officer salary depending on what your net income is over an average 3-year period. And I give them options to maybe set up a solo 401k for that, maybe set up a SEP IRA, give them some options, and not having them paying themselves this ridiculously overly bloated salary that really needs to stay in their business to keep it operating. What's a reasonable salary based on the time and percentage that they're involved in their business, and then give them a couple of options to benefit through a retirement plan.
The content on Minding Your Business is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as specific legal advice. This show discusses general legal issues affecting business owners. Opinions of the guests are not necessarily that of the show. If you need assistance with your specific legal issue, please consult with a licensed attorney.